Hello. Sorry. Whoops. I was, dagnabbit. My intro's a lot shorter for Master Study than I'm used to. And so I'm literally caught in between transitions right here. So hello, everybody. That was awkward. Welcome to my Master Study. My name is Rocky Ballesteros. Thank you so much for joining me. I'm so excited to get back to drawing again today. Wow, is that loud in my ears? That might sound super loud to me. Let me know if that sounds loud to you guys. It sounds really loud in my ears. But I am so glad to see you guys and so glad to get back to the Master Study today. It's been too long since I've been at the drawing board, as you might have known or had seen in my last stream, last Wednesday comic stream, which is on last Friday. Confusing, I know. Remind me to never put a day's title, a day's name in my future titles, because if you miss it, it gets really confusing for somebody like me. But anyway, my last stream, which was called My Wednesday Comics, but it was aired on last Friday. I was catching up with you guys all because I came back from vacation And I happened to be in Korea and Singapore just for fun and also visiting family and whatnot. And so got a good time catching up with a lot of you guys last Friday. But since I was away for 3-ish weeks, I haven't been drawing, not at least not comic stuff. And yeah, I've been itching to get back to this page. I was looking at it just last night and just really excited to get back into the grind and try and finish this one up. I don't think I'll finish it up today, but I think we have enough time, according to my schedule, that we can get pretty far. Maybe get like more than halfway through today. So anyway, so awesome to join you guys, and I'm glad that I was able to get this stream going. Other than the fact that I am not used to how short that intro is for my master studies. That's a new little intro that I started. I think the first time I aired it was the very first master study for this John Byrne Elsewhen page. And I'm used to like the longer trailers that I play in front of my streams. So that caught me off guard, just seeing myself like halfway trying to get into the seat. So let me just make sure everything is turned off. Notifications are turned off so I don't get distracted. Got my water bottle, got my supplies, got a new ink dropper. But yeah, we are going to get into this page. So for those of you who don't know, my Master Study series is a time to reproduce a comic book page that I love, usually by an artist that I love. And in this particular case, we are doing a page drawn by the amazing artist and creator John Byrne. He had a huge run on many series, many big name titles, among which are Uncanny X-Men. I grew up on a lot of his stuff, but he also worked on Fantastic Four, read a lot of that as well. He was one of the redefining creators on She-Hulk. So regardless of how the Marvel TV series ended up, which I didn't watch, to be honest, I was not looking forward to that at all. But a lot of it was based on what John Byrne did for the comic in She-Hulk and kind of the storytelling that he built into his comic run on She-Hulk and the personality he gave her. So he worked on She-Hulk, he worked on Fantastic Four, Uncanny X-Men, like I said, Alpha Flight, Canada's best super team. He worked on Avengers. He worked on Superman. He kind of redefined Superman as well. So John Byrne is just the man. At one point, he was unstoppable. And then, I want to say in the like 90s, kind of when Image Comics was like super hot and exploding, maybe even right before then, he disappeared a little bit from the scene. And I don't know if it's just like a changing of the guard or whatever, but I really like lost touch with the work that John Byrne was working on. And there was rumors that there was kind of a falling out between him and some of the major publishers. Anyway, he popped back into the public eye and started working on this fan fiction of Uncanny X-Men, an Uncanny X-Men story that happens right after the Dark Phoenix run. And so he was really famous for what he did on Dark Phoenix. I'm sorry, the Dark Phoenix saga, which I have, excuse me, I have compiled right here. So this is like the whole John Byrne, and basically, you know, the storyline that Jean Grey became Phoenix and then became Dark Phoenix, this kind of darker persona, and she was actually possessed by this cosmic entity, and then she sacrificed herself for the sake of the X-Men. People thought she died, but she didn't really. So anyway, all this like complicated plot, which was written by Chris Claremont, but John Byrne was the artist on it. So I heard that he had kind of a falling out between him and Chris Claremont, and he wanted the story to go in a different direction. And that's kind of where this fanfic originated, where he was writing what he thought should have happened to this storyline right after the Dark Phoenix saga. So pretty interesting that somebody as influential of a creator as John Byrne would do his own fan fiction. And then at times people were like, is it going to get published by Marvel? What? Blah, blah, blah. And then it wasn't. And he just started posting these pages online on a bulletin board, random bulletin board. And people started following it and reading it. Some people printed them out. They were like full penciled pages. And some people started printing them out and like creating their own little like bound copies and selling them bootleg. But I didn't discover this until, a few months ago that this all existed. And then, so it became this awesome thing that I started reading, and it was actually really good. And his artwork on it is still, it feels like he's in the same era as when he was drawing the Dark Phoenix saga. So pretty amazing. And then just recently, right before I left on vacation, San Diego Con happened. And it was announced that they are officially publishing this Elsewhen series, I think in 3 volumes. So it's amazing. They're going to ink it and color it and like fully bind it and produce it like professionally. So good on John Byrne. What are the chances that I would be working on this master study at the same time they made that announcement? And so, it's just like totally injected into my veins and into my psyche of like, I got to get on this page. Maybe John Byrne will see my inks and hire me. No, but it's just cool that it's kind of happening at the same time. So I'm really excited to read the finalized version of it, but it's cool to be working on it on my own here with you guys. So that is what this master study is. And if you are new to my channel, you can also go back and look at my library. I have playlists for all the other various master studies I've done in the past. Mike Zeck, Michael Golden, Mobius, Barry Windsor Smith, Will Eisner, Jim Steranko, Mike Zeck, and now John Byrne. So yeah, it's been a really fun thing just to do, and it's a chance for me to kind of learn and study these masters, not just by staring at their work, but actually trying to reproduce it. And in this particular case, since John Byrne's pencils are so tight already on what he released on this bulletin board, instead of me just trying to copy his pencils over again, I decided, let me just go straight to ink. So that's what I did. I'll talk about the process of it, as I always do on these streams, of how I got to this point. But pretty much I just took the scan that was on the bulletin board and blew it up to an 11 by 17 size to fit on like a standard comic book template. And so you can see already how tight these pencils are, which is pretty awesome, like really great. You never know what the status or how tight a penciler will pencil. And in this particular case, for this weird fanfic thing, I was expecting it to be a lot looser than it was, but this is really like production tight, in my opinion. I mean, he even did the lettering in it. And so then I blew it up on to that size and printed it out, did a little treatment on it, and then printed it out in non-photo blue. Actually, you can't see that this is blue, but these are blue lines. You'll see it on the closer up when I go to the overhead camera. And then these are the panels that I've already inked right here on this page. So yeah, just inking straight on Bristol, which is awesome. And the tool that I'm using is the people call it a dip pen, a crow quill, or I don't know if it's officially a crow quill. I don't know, a nib, whatever. But it's like this metal pen. What is the brand? I believe I'm using a Deleter brand nib, which is a company that produces these like metal nibs. But then you have this little holder and you put the nib in there and then you dip it in the ink, and it gives a certain quality to the ink line versus inking with a pen, which I use these Pitt pens, these Faber-Castell Pitt pens, and I will be using on some of more technical stuff here as well. Or my weapon of choice on some of the other master studies I've done, we're inking on with a sable brush, a Winsor Newton number 7, series 2. Series 7, number 2? Whatever, I might have gotten that mixed up. But that's my weapon of choice. But it's a certain line quality that comes out of inking with a brush versus a dip pen versus a technical pen. They all has different qualities. I tend to love the brush the best because it has this very organic, beautiful curve, beautiful thick thin. But in this case, because I know the artist, John Byrne, one of the most famous inkers that worked with John Byrne is a guy by the name of Terry Austin. And he worked on a lot of the Dark Phoenix stuff in his Uncanny X-Men run. Terry Austin has inked some of the greatest artists out there. I don't even know if Terry Austin is still around. I should look that up. But I decided to try to channel my best Terry Austin as I ink on John Byrne's stuff. And if I'm not mistaken, I could be totally wrong, but it feels like Terry Austin inked with predominantly a dip pen and a nib. So that's why I'm going with it. And I printed out some of these pages for myself for my own reference, just to look at line quality and how he drew technical things versus organic things, and just to channel that into inking this, because I figured if John Byrne created this series at the time he did Dark Phoenix, he would have hired Terry Austin to be his inker. So that's why I'm kind of going in that direction with this. So that's the history of this. That's the intro to this. And then we'll get going. We'll get started on it. But I do want to catch up in the chat. All you fine folks that are in here. So good to see all of you. All my friends here. Mark's Music Obsession. What's up, Mark? How are you doing? Mark says, unexpected treat. Yes, it's awesome. Let me move this down. Awesome to be able to stream today with you guys. You never know what's going to happen in Rocky's Land. I wish I had more of a regular schedule, which I do with my Wednesday comics, although I streamed on Friday. Just because comics come out on Wednesday, so it's easy to kind of connect it to, okay, I'm going to stream that day. But the rest of my week has up to do with like work and availability and errands that I got to run and home life. So I was able to carve out some time today. And I also am kind of fighting jet lag still from my trip. I think I'll probably be fighting that for the next couple of weeks. So streaming during the day keeps my eyes open, which is always a good thing. Otherwise, if I start napping when I shouldn't be, it just, you don't reset. So not a good thing. So it's benefiting me right now to stream right now. What's up, Lindsay Rose? Good seeing you again.
Roses are red, violets are blue.
Awesome catching up with you last week and then now here. Lindsay Rose, I think you've seen Master Studies before, right? I know you're relatively new to my channel, but you've been showing up quite a bit, so it's awesome to have you here. And I'm pretty sure you've seen me do a Master Study before, so I won't even say, hey, welcome to the Master Study stream. K-pop junkies here, always on the internet. K-pop has internet like flowing through her veins. She is always online in one form or the other. So awesome to see it. She's been streaming like a mad woman lately, and I can barely keep up. K-pop, I have no idea how you do it. You have unlimited energy. Fancy intro, Rocky. Mark's Music. Yeah, I need to extend it by another like 2 minutes though, so I'm not caught in the middle of getting into my seat. Wow, this is far left. This camera is far left. Well, I'll be inking here, so should be okay. Let me readjust my seat. It's always like that. Whenever I start up the stream, it's like everything is slightly shifted, and you never know how precise it is when you leave the last time you work. Because I have 2 different desks. So I do my Wednesday comics on one desk, and then I do my drawing stuff on another desk. They're connected, but 2 different sides, 2 different camera setups. And so everything's always shifted over. The way I get into a seat is different, messes things up. So I might have to adjust things as we go. Currently in lurk mode, sewing nerd things and can't type. No problem, K-pop. I just imagine you like sewing, typing with your foot, and like with like a beef jerky stick in your mouth. I don't know. Like the shirt, I know exactly where I was in '87. Graduating high school, yes, I love this shirt, and I always do think of this shirt when I'm streaming, because it's just cool. It's just all about, like, I grew up with this advertisement in my comics. This is this is kind of like advertising a seminal story in the Uncanny X-Men called God Loves, Man Kills. God Loves, Man Kills, right? Yeah. And it was a Chris Claremont Uncanny X-Men story, and it was a really dark story, but it was so good, and I recommend you guys read it. I've flipped through it on some stream before, but anyway, I remember this advertisement because they made it look like one of those like milk carton ads, but it says it's in 1987. Do you know what your children are, as opposed to where your children are? And then this little kid here has got Muty over his face, which is, it's so hardcore. And they use the word muty as a very derogatory term. So anyway, when I saw that somebody was printing this on a shirt, I think I got it on like Etsy or something. I was like, I need to have that. That's a great shirt. Volume is good, Rocky. Okay, awesome. I still have to watch the beginning of that stream. No worries. Lindsay Rose is going to eat now. That's another thing I was doing right before. I was like shoving a few pieces of like sushi in my mouth before, because I realized my stomach's been all crazy since we got home, because it's on a different time zone. So it's like when I should be eating lunch, I'm really not that hungry. But then I realized if I get on here and start, I'm not going to be able to eat for 2 to 3 hours, as long as the stream is. And I'm going to be starving by the end of it, so I better eat something before. Lindsay Rose is eating some sort of bowl of noodles, maybe. That would be amazing. I see Galactus behind you, Rocky. Yep, there he is. Galactus. That is definitely one of the Master Studies, the Mobius Master Study. And Galactus is starring in the new Fantastic Four movie, which I have yet to see. I need to go see that. I don't know if any of you guys have seen it. I've heard mixed reviews about it. I've heard some people say it's like top 5 Marvel movie, which I was like, really? And then I've heard other people say like it was okay. But Galactus apparently does make an appearance in that, so I'm really excited to see that, or see their portrayal of that at least. Lindsay Rose says, oh man, who do y'all know who can 6 degrees to John Byrne? Wow. I don't know. I don't know anybody who knows John Byrne. Do I know anybody who knows John Byrne? Yeah, I don't know. That would be cool, though. What's the big idea, Comrade Sammy says. The chat ninja. Why didn't you tell me you were streaming? I don't know, Comrade Sammy. I'm telling you now. When I hit live, that's my signal. I'm streaming. That means I'm streaming when I'm live. So, I'm streaming, by the way. Comrade Sammy, I'm streaming. Good seeing you. Yo, Rocky. Phil, what's up? You know what, Phil? I don't think I need to write this down. I need to sound effect you one of these days, buddy. Thank you for coming. How you doing, Phil? I don't know if Phil, Zaid Comics, indie creator. Did you make it to San Diego Con, Zaid Comics? I actually have to catch up on my... Oh, I didn't want to give away that. I have to catch up on some of the San Diego Con news, because I know that DC announced like a series called KO, which is like DC characters fighting in wrestling. I don't know, it sounded crazy. But I can't remember what other information... I think Daniel Warren Johnson is going to be doing something for Absolute Batman, which would be amazing. But yeah, I got to catch up on that San Diego news. I was overseas when that happened, and then I didn't really watch any videos that had to do with it. So, yeah, I gotta catch up on that. But great seeing you, Phil. Comrade Sammy takes the #1 spot. You want to stay awake? We can keep you awake. Can you? I don't know. I think that'll be one of my greatest / worst streams, when I literally fall asleep on stream. It's gonna happen. It's gonna happen. Lindsay Rose did The first one she did see was the Master Study. Okay, nice, nice. That Galactus behind Rocky's head was my favorite. Yes, yes, yes. Looks like the actual one he did could be a copy. No, this is it. This is the actual inked version right there. And then the pencils are in front of me right now. Yes, sushi, ramen, nice. Did I tell you guys? I did tell you guys I went into a 24-hour ramen place. I did. I showed you pictures. That's right. Amazing. Best ramen I've had. And actually, it was just packet ramen. But the one thing, like you could add, they had like a, whatever, bar where you can add like ingredients on top of ramen, some kimchi and whatnot. But one thing that was surprising, I've never seen done before, is one of the ingredients that they offered to add onto your ramen, your hot, piping hot water ramen, was a slice of cheese. Like, what? I was like, what? Like, literally, you know, like a slice, like a Kraft single cheese. And so I saw that, and my kids saw it, and were like, let's try the cheese. And like you put it on it, and then when the hot water hits it, it kind of melts, and it made the broth a little bit more creamy, and it was so good. And I'm like, I think I need to do this from here on. So try it out, Lindsay Rose. If you haven't made your bowl of ramen yet, put a slice of cheese on it and let it melt in the hot liquid, and see how you like that. Because I've found, you know, just in our limited time in Korea, that cheese is a big part of a lot of the foods there in different forms, not just a slice of cheese on top of everything. It's like different forms of cheese, but it was delicious. It took it over the top for me. Hey, what a coincidence! Was just eating ramen earlier. Ramen is awesome. It'd be so cool if you hire. That would be cool. I heard that John Byrne's a bit of a curmudgeon, though. So who knows? Who knows how that would work out? But you never know. You just got to put stuff out there. Put your art out there. Sorry, my chair is really squeaky today. But yeah, you never know. You never know what happens. And there's kind of a cool thing. Like, I met somebody right before I left on vacation. Somebody reached out to me on, he may be watching now. He reached out to me on Instagram, and we just got talking, and he has his own YouTube channel as well. He's not a comic artist per se, but he talks about like just comic news and more like pop culture news, including comics and movies and television shows and all that kind of stuff. And so, really nice guy. I won't say who yet, because we're talking about maybe doing some stuff together, and it would be really neat, you know. So you never know. And he just discovered it, because the cool thing is he discovered my channel because I guess he went into Invisible Jet Comics, who is one of the local stores here that I visit. I actually need to go visit Chris soon. I haven't seen her shop in a while. And she mentioned my channel to him, and he watched my channel, and he really liked it. And so he reached out to me, and he said, hey, cool, I like your channel, and like, we should talk. And so just kind of, you know, started some stuff bubbling out there. And who knows where that could lead. It could be kind of cool. So I'm very excited about it. But it all just came out of, like, you know, putting stuff out there. So who knows? Maybe John Byrne will do a search on his name, find my stinking channel, and watch this and be like, man, this guy is as good as Terry Austin. Let me hire him. One can dream, right? One can dream. Well, when you do eventually fall asleep on stream, I definitely won't make fun of you. No, definitely. I know. Comrade Sammy you would protect my dignity. I'm positive about that. I've seen people put cheese on ramen, Mark has. I'd never seen that before, Mark. But I'm glad that I experienced that, because I will definitely be doing that in the future. Next time I eat a bowl of ramen. I haven't eaten sliced cheese, like prepackaged Kraft singles, in a long time. And I think it has to be that kind of cheese. It can't be like too natural and like, you know, like a slice of cheddar that's like real. It's got to be kind of that processed cheese, because it just melted into nothing into the broth, and it just added a special something. It was awesome. Lindsay Rose says maybe you'd soften him up. Maybe. You have too much confidence in my ability to interact with other people, Lindsay Rose. But thank you. Thank you very much. John says, John is here. Well, it's about time I show up.
He goes, what's your name? He goes,
John
John.
is so good that he polices himself. That's how good of a moderator John is. What's up, John? Ramen is carb loaded, isn't it? Does it matter? Does it matter? Curmudgeon, I don't see him in here. Wait a minute. There's many a curmudgeon that have appeared in my channel, so that could describe many people, Mark. Not you, but that could describe many people. Oh yeah, he left a master study behind. Forgot about that. Emo trash. No, I'm just kidding. What's up, emo trash? Have you seen the ramen where people add peanut butter to it? I tried making it earlier. It wasn't bad. It was my first time making it, so I would definitely do some peanut butter. Conference Sammy, drop me a link. I'm interested. After putting cheese in my ramen, I will venture far out into the ramen scape and try different things. So drop me a link. I want to see what that's all about. Pretty high in carbs, John. You know what you could do? Just crack an egg when you're boiling it, and you got that protein. You can soup it up. That's the amazing thing with ramen. It's like so versatile. So Rocky, you have to explain how you went to art school for comics, I assume, and went into animation. You have to explain how you went to art school for comics and went into animation. No, I went into so my career path or story school path, let's just say, is I've always loved comics since I was, oh gosh, I want to say like seven years old. I was exposed to comics by a family friend. It was actually a girl. And I don't say that in like, I say that in, maybe that sounds sexist. I'm not trying to be sexist, but surprisingly, she was like, you know, we were similar age and our families were really good friends. And they're like, why don't you just go play? So we went and played, and she was like, do you want to see my brother's comics? And I was like, what are those? And she pulled out an issue of, I think it was X-Men, or was it? Maybe it was Fantastic Four. I can't remember. But anyway, her older brothers, they were way older than we were. Maybe like 10, 12 years older than we were. Had boxes, like long boxes and boxes of comics. So we would just spend hours and hours and hours in her brother's room, just like reading comics. And she was really into, at the time, Teen Titans, I remember reading at their house. Uncanny X-Men. Princess Amethyst, which is a crazy comic, but it's kind of like in the same vein as She-Ra or like Gem and the Holograms. Kind of has that feel to it. And she was really into it. And then we would just like, pretend play. And I just learned so much about comics from that family through that girl and through her brothers. I never really interacted with her brothers that much because they were much older than I was. But she just kind of siphoned the comics in my direction. And so I've always loved comics and read comics since that point. And then I started collecting them on my own. So just the medium of comics, the storytelling form started building those foundations in my brain, the characters at that age. And then I discovered animation. You know, they're related, storytelling and all that. But I discovered animation. I mean, I watched cartoons all the time, but I really wanted to pursue animation when I was in 7th grade. So 13 or something like that. And the movie for me that did it was The Little Mermaid. Like, that was it. That was the movie that convinced me I wanted to work in animation. And so that's what I pursued once I went for college. And but I was always reading comics the whole time and into comics. I never really thought that I could be. I tried, as a kid, you dream of becoming a comic book artist, but I didn't really pursue it per se as a career. I thought maybe animation would be a more viable career just because it was super hot in the 90s with all those movies coming out. So anyway, yeah, that's kind of my path, but always hand in hand in my brain, and even more so now as I've gotten older and I've worked in the animation field for over 25 years. Now comics is like, I should be doing comics. I should be making comics. And then obviously, as you guys know, the story, Shanth and I connected in college over comics, and he's the one who really kind of introduced me to this new world of internet, YouTube, comics. So yeah, that's kind of the summary. High of 69, low tonight. I was thinking that I should put like a weather widget on my stream just because we talk about weather so much. High of 69, that sounds perfect. Low tonight of 55. Yep, San Francisco summer. Sounds perfect, Mark. What am I at right now? $67. High of 68, low of 56. We're about the same, Mark. I'm sure it's about more sunny where you are. It's a little foggy here. It kind of is during the summers, a lot. John, should I just offer up the report I wrote on him? You could. Realizing most of the world runs on wheat-based foods explains the rising insulin resistance. Oh, goodness. I like cheese, but it doesn't like me. Oh. You know what? Is it like a lactose intolerance thing? That's very... I'm very very familiar with those. I'm not super lactose intolerant, but there's like, there's certain things if you eat too much ice cream or too much cheese that kind of makes my stomach iffy. But then you just take a little like lactate pill and you're okay. It's pretty common in Asian people to be lactose intolerant, to be honest. So yeah, you can do that. But some people are like really have problems with dairy, so I don't know. I don't know what I would do if I couldn't eat dairy. That would be depressing. PB on ramen? Oh my. What? Rocky hit 600. No, I didn't. Did I? No, not yet. I was checking. Wait! We did hit 600. What in the blimey? When did that happen? That's amazing. What do we do? We hit 600 people. You know what that means? That means I gotta find that lime jello recipe and make it. And then eat it on stream. I told my kids about it, and my daughter was like, "Oh no, are you turning into one of those YouTubers?" But I will do it. I looked at the recipe the other night after that stream was over, and I was like, give it a shot. Lime jello cottage cheese? Why not? But holy cow, we hit 600. Thank you guys so much. Whoever those last two subscribers were, because it was at 598 right when I started the stream. So that's awesome. We're at 600. 600 people. I would have never guessed. I think when I started this, I mean, obviously when you start, there's no followers, right? But it was like, at the point I was like so excited that we were at like 40 people. So that's so cool. 600. I'm excited. John, you missed the cheese lime jello, cottage cheese lime jello. Yeah, we got the link. I saw that there was the link in the chat last time, so we got it. Don't have a specific recipe, just kind of winged it. Oh, yes, I will. Don't get me started on this, like trying weird things on stream. That's weird, guys. I don't want to be that. I really don't want to be that person. If I ate a pack of ramen, I would gain 2 pounds. Low carb is a must for me. Fair enough. John says, I'm leaning towards carnivore diet these days. People say that. And then I'm nervous that I'd be nervous that 2 months later, people are like, oh, carnivore diet. It's not good. But I've seen people that have had good results for it. So Who knows? I'm definitely a meat eater, so I could get on board with that. We're saving. Look, we hit 600. Are there comic short boxes too? There are, John. Yes, definitely. Short boxes are about. I thought I had one in here. I don't, in my garage. Actually, long boxes are kind of hard to store unless you have a lot of storage. So I have short boxes. They're easier to like find shelf space for those, like in your garage or in your house. They're about half the size of a long box. Lindsay likes cottage cheese in general. Yes. Okay. I know. Got it. On stream. Okay. I don't have the ingredients right now, guys. But I promise you, now that we've hit 600 and if we stay at that, I'll do it. I promise. But I have to make it ahead of time, right? I can't. It's not like I can just put it on and then eat it. It seems like that recipe is you gotta make it and let it set. I'm so distracted now thinking of lime jello with cottage cheese. I haven't even put ink to paper. Okay, wait. Let me switch views here. So one thing before I know there's still a little bit of chat there to catch up on. I see it. One thing I'm going to use today is this curve tool. I've never used this before, and I picked it up a while ago. Just never had the need to use it. It's produced by Staedtler. A bunch of people make different kind of curve tools, but pretty much it's a ruler, like a stiff three-dimensional ruler that you can bend and then use to draw curves with. Because they have like French curves you can buy, but you never know. I thought this would be handy and kind of cool to try because you never know at what angle you need a curve, right? Certain French curves, which are like plastic pieces of tools that you can use to create curves, French curves, like or different kind of curves. And I've used those before, but this one I thought was cool because it's malleable, so you can make it bend to a certain angle that you needed to do. And for this panel and the top panel here, there's all these wires that I thought would be neat to try and use this tool. It could be a disaster, as everything is on this channel, but yeah, I thought it would be good thing to try. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to work on this panel right here, which is Kitty Pryde phasing or like going transparent through the floor and the walls of this building. And I'm using this page here from a previous issue of X-Men that Terry Austin inked over John Byrne's pencils as reference, because she's in the costume, the same costume here as she is in this page. So, and then I thought like you saw a lot of different body angles here that I could use as reference of just how she was inked back there. So the question is, am I gonna ink her body first, or I'm gonna ink the technical stuff and then do the body? I think I'm gonna ink her. I think I'm gonna draw some of the technical stuff first. So let's go with that. So I'm gonna start with the technical pen and draw some of these lines in here. Yes, it's my favorite. It's my absolute favorite. English is hard. Read between the limes, John says. I don't know. Because my intro was shorter, the yapping is longer. That's all I can explain. That was your forecast, Rocky. It's 90. Oh, I see. You were telling me my forecast, not yours. Okay, that makes more sense, John, Mark. That makes a lot more sense because I'm like, wow, that was a considerable drop from Friday. That makes a lot more sense. Okay, so I'm just using the ruler here on these lines. And part of the reason why I'm doing this first is it just helps me to see the borders kind of the gives me some boundaries before I draw the figure in it. Because if I draw it, at least the way when I'm drawing, if I draw the figure first and I don't have any of these borders that the figure's not supposed to cross in line, then sometimes you'll overdraw, and then I'll have to white out, go back and white out, which is fine, but just deciding to give myself some indication here of these borders that we're supposed to stay in, and then I won't overdraw so much where the character is, if that makes any sense. I do feel like I need to adjust this camera though, so 1 second. I have a little bit of a different, this is more information than you guys need, but it's also kind of cool to know, just like the behind the scenes production stuff. But I used to have just one mic that I would use, because I have two setups. I have one mic here, you can see this mic, and I would use it on both of my setups. So when I would stream for my Wednesday comics, I would use it on the other side, and if I streamed Master Studies, I would use it on this side. But it was kind of a pain because I had to detach it and reattach it on the two different setups every time. So I'd flip-flop back and forth in it. But recently I got a second mic, so I don't have to do that anymore. And it was on sale during some Black Friday sale. So that's cool. But then I also realized that I need another headphone setup. And this headphone setup right now is short. So that's part of my headphones are dragging a little bit. Totally off frame. That's not good. John Byrne's going to watch the stream and he's like, I didn't see you draw anything. It was just off frame the whole time. So, lime jello. I got to look back at the ingredients, but lime jello, cottage cheese. Was that it? Lime jello packet, cottage cheese. That's weird. That's a weird combo. It feels like some sort of southern dessert or something, Lindsay Rose. Like, it feels like one of those, like, my grandma used to make this every Thanksgiving. And I used to live in the South, so I was exposed to a lot of those kind of things. But those can be quite good if they're done right. So that's part of the reason where I'm like, I'll give that a try. But it sounds crazy. Boop, 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 boop. Okay. It's probably related in the lactose vein. Oh, okay. Yeah. It's weird. It's weird how that happens. I didn't always have a reaction to lactose until I got older. And it was surprising because it's like, what? Why is my body reacting like this? I also like, my family, we like boba. And so, you know, there's all sorts of different kinds of boba drinks out there. A lot of them use milk tea or creamer in the recipes. And so depending on what kind of store you go to, you never know what kind of milk they're using or what kind of dairy they're using. Some of them you'll use like fresh organic dairy, and some will use like half and half creamer. But that everybody has different reactions to that too. So sometimes you'll get Sometimes we'll order boba. And we're like, oh, this tastes so good. And then afterwards you're like, oh, my stomach hurts. Okay, I don't think I need to totally finalize all these lines. Just enough to give me... Just enough to give me guides to draw the figure. Is that a little kinked? Yeah, I guess so. And one more line here. We'll do this top line. I'm going to use this ruler so I can see what I'm lining up to. Okay, I think that's good enough to start. And then I'll tighten it up. We'll do these curves once I get the figure in there. All right, let's switch to the nib pen now. We're gonna get serious now with the real ink. Check out this if you're noticing lactose intolerances. Oh, okay, cool. Huh. Is that like some advice? 600, let's go, Rocky. That's right, Mark. Rocky is over the... Good one. I don't think you have to use the mayo. There's mayo? That's getting weirder. It's getting weirder. Rocky is famous now. Not quite. Not quite. Rocky will eat Z-bugs on stream. I don't know. Won't that be cool here until at least... Won't be that cool until at least November. Oh, okay. Lindsay does like beef. Nice. Katie! What's up, Katie? Oh, my goodness.
Say cup of tea.
Cup of tea.
No. A cup of tea.
Awesome seeing you, Katie. How are you doing? How's the UK? How's it been over there? What's your weather like over there? I don't know what our UK summer's like. But hopefully all is well with you. Check out Steak and Butter Gal for good intro to carnival. I think I've seen some videos from her. That sounds very familiar, John, but I will check that out. That's amazing. Cup of tea, that's right. Everybody's saying hello to Katie. Mr. Monkey Boy is here, 1969.
How do you say monkey in French?
Awesome seeing you, sir. You telling me last stream you don't show up. You show up. You're here. There was a video, somebody I knew. I need to add more ink here. A friend of mine, posted that he was in Paris and at these like comic book stores in Paris. So I sent him a link to the video I made. You guys can check it out on my channel. One of my first earliest videos of the stores that I visited when I was in Paris. And I watched a little bit after I sent him the link, and I'm like, oh man, that was one of the best like comic book excursion moments I had, at least in the life of this channel. It's just so many good stores there, and he was like smack dab in the middle, and I'm like, here, I sent him the link, and I'm like, here are the stores that I went to All right, let's see. I'm always nervous with the first ink line. This panel is funny just to look at this panel because it's like one of the, when you think about drawing, you know, like, oh, I want to be a comic book artist, like the things you loved, or at least, you know, that I think about, I would love to draw like the splash page and like the exciting action shot. But a majority of comics, because you're telling a story, you're not just drawing pinups. At least that's what I want to do. There's some people that all they want to do is just be a pinup artist, but you know, you're telling a sequential story. Most of the panels you're drawing are like this. It's like this weird angle because they're telling this part of the story to show us that Kitty Pryde is passing through the wall, and here's why. And so you got to figure out what the boot looks like from underside and what she looks like from the back. And it's not the sexiest of things to draw, but necessary. So like one of the things I look at, so for example, just to give you guys a little bit of mindset, you know, John Byrne here, he's like sketching and drawing, and she has a black outfit based on the reference, right? And so he's sketching here, but her boots are yellow. So I'm just looking at how did he treat shadows on the yellow parts and the boots, and it looks like they're solid blacks here. Just look at a couple other reference pieces. But it's not like it's a textured line or a gradiated line or a hatched line for, at least for Kitty Pryde's outfit. So then that makes me assume that this part here, it's in shadow, it's just going to be all black once I fill it in. I've done it. I've succeeded in the days derailing. You're welcome. John says, Katie, not gonna lie, missing your craft streams these days. Comrade Sammy says, I concur with John, Katie. We need some craft streams. And Katie says, I'm sorry, John. I won't be doing anymore. I'm all streamed out. Oh, that's a bummer. But understandable, Katie. Streaming is not easy. Especially something regular. It takes a lot. It takes a lot of time and effort to put out some content. It's okay, Katie. Just keep coming on my stream and bringing some UK flavor here. It's more than welcome. I need to add more ink in here. Do this in a second. Okay, so I'm just outlining her black costume legs here for now. We'll just let Rocky be a fill-in. Katie, that just makes the original Katie artwork I have more precious. Absolutely, Mark. That's right. Her value just went up. Her value just went up. Because when you... It's economics. When you reduce the inventory out there, increase the demand, price goes up. Gotta learn something from that. And that's why I say I always, like, that's another reason why I love doing these master studies. It's this, like, creating something original, creating something unique and tangible. That's, you know, that's like a one-of-a-kind thing. That's another reason why I loved getting that carved marble chop mark made when I was in Korea with my name on it that I showed you guys on stream, because I feel like that will add kind of a original one-of-a-kind mark to any kind of artwork, or yeah, any kind of original artwork, or like blank cover commissions that I do in the future. I'm going to use that chop mark and add it to it, and it'll be kind of this unique mark on each page. I was actually I'll show you guys. I was practicing that mark. I got to get a good ink seal ink pad for it. I actually have one. I had an old one, but I think the ink is old. It's got to be at least like 20 years old, but it still works. Here, I'll show you guys. Whoa! That's what I mean when my headphones is short. So it's one of these ink pads, and the ink is like this paste. It's more of like a paste as opposed to ink, like this. Kind of cool. I think this is more dried up than it should be, because like this is like 20 to 30 years old, this ink. But it has to be somewhat pasty. And then you take the marble mark. Where did it go? Where did that chop go? You take the mark and... Oh my gosh, it was literally right here. 1 second. What? Not there. Go. I think I put it somewhere. Stamped it. It's not there. Oh my gosh. It's the most uninteresting stream. Watching me walk around my room like John Travolta going, where is it? Anyway, you take the stamp whenever I find it, and you dab it into that red ink, and then you make a mark. And so here's some that I was practicing. But the thing I love about it is they're all kind of different. Like, this is not quite great, but they're all kind of different. They will all have a little bit of imperfection to it. I do need to find a better ink, because I don't think you can tell, maybe kind of tell. I don't know if you guys can see it, but it has like, this one is like so thick and raised a little bit there. I love the way that feels, almost like a sealant. So yeah, I gotta find an ink that does more of that. But anyway, if I can find this stupid, what's gonna bother me now? Where did I put those? If I can find my marble chop. Okay. I'm going to add more of this stinky ink into this inkwell. That video, I did a little clip of that video when I first started inking this page where it like dripped. It started off with a drip. It actually got good views. I think people just liked me making mistakes. But I will try and not do that. I will try and not do that again. Okay. Her hair is always tricky. Look at these like very complicated curls. They look so great, but there's a mastery there of thick and thin and just repetition in the curls. And then how complicated it gets at scale here, at this larger scale versus more of this medium scale, which is probably what I'm going for in the panel I'm drawing. So these are all kind of details I got to pay attention to. Because in the pencils, he just kind of like scribble, 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 scribble. But if I don't clarify that in the inks, that's going to be a mess. So I feel like this is kind of the things that inkers have to figure out when the pencilers just are like, yeah, what's curly hair here? But I got to figure out like the direction and the amount of curls. Let's see. Off frame, like when Rocky was showing off his personalized stamper. Lime jello, cottage cheese, Cool Whip, and pineapple. Oh, those are the ingredients. And there's mayo too? Oh yeah, the pineapple. I do remember reading the pineapple. Lime jello, cottage cheese sounds more like a summer picnic. Yes, it does. It's an old Germanic dish, I think Lindsay Rose says. Huh. Okay. Oh, Mark's Music Obsession posting a link to Katie's wow, I'm so behind. What the heck? Mark's Music Obsession. How dare you? $4.99 ink funds, Rocky. You know what? I'm actually saying it should use for like finding my stamp funds. But anyway, Mark, amazing. The most generous man on the planet. Thank you so much for the super chat. $4.99. Here you go. First time on Master Study Stream. The super chat video. Thank you so much, Mark. Whoops, wrong camera. Thank you so much, dude. Super, super, super generous of you. I appreciate it. Let me see if I can screen share. Oh, yeah. Okay. Check this out. Some of Katie's artwork right here. Check that out. That looks amazing, Katie. I'm assuming you did that on stream too while you're doing it. Look at all the gradients and it's got a Tim Burton-esque kind of feel to it. Wonderland. That looks great. I love the frame too. That's awesome. Look at that. Mark, you got to start your own like gallery or something of all the original artwork that you're picking up. That's awesome. I love me some original artwork. Well done, Katie. Okay, where was I? There was something. Somebody was saying something. Oh. John says, I was never impressed by boba. Tapioca pudding, however, is good. Oh, boba's so good. I like tapioca pudding. Mark says, love me some boba tea. Nice. I used to be addicted to Thai tea is so good. And yes, the calories in that, because that is literally like half and half and a little bit of tea in there. But it's all about how good is the tea. How good is the tea that's making up the Thai tea? That'll make or break a Thai tea right there. Yeah, I love Thai tea. I love this iconic X symbol on her belt. Let's see if I can do it justice. I want to give it a little bit of thickness on this side. So we can feel some of that dimensionality on her belt. Okay, back to the curls. There, you kind of get that it's like curly hair, sorta. Okay. Yeah, I mean, this looks like a quick, like drawing, like a quick pencil drawing, but there's a lot of skill that went into this. This is not an easy angle to draw a human being, let alone different parts of a human being that are like half phasing through solid objects. Okay. Right, cool. And then there's like a shadow here. I think I need to go back to start tightening up some of these technical lines. Okay. Yeah, I'm going to draw some of these. Comrade Sammy says, I strongly suggest you add the mayo. Lindsay Rose says, I feel like the mayo isn't necessary. Rocky, Dr. Davis talks about SIBO, which leads to lactose intolerance. He has a super probiotic yogurt recipe, which helps. Oh, okay. I might have to try something like that. I'd be curious to see if that actually helps. Rocky, you have unusual background hum, hiss, noise. Fan blowing a mic. Wrong mic selected. Yes. No, it's the... it's my computer. This particular computer is loud. There's always kind of been a hiss. Here, I'm going to play some music. Let me know if the music is too loud or whatever, how the volume is on the music. But hopefully that'll mask some of the hiss. But it just kind of is. This computer I'm streaming off right now is a little older, and so the fan runs a little louder on this mic. What are you laughing at, K-pop? My audio compressor was pushing it up. Ooh, audio compressor. This Katie is crafting but not streaming, also streamed out. Oh. Katie is... Oh, you is crafting but not streaming, also streamed out. And I wouldn't blame you, Miss K-pop. You stream like... yeah, nonstop. Classic mic bump. Hail the chat, Mo Biggs. What's up?
Better known as Mo, Big wasn't always the confident voice we hear today.
How are you doing? I haven't played that in a while. Wouldn't be a Rocky stream without it. That's right. There's some signature things in this stream. All this time Rocky was alive? I was, Mo Biggs, and I appreciate the concern of whether or not I was alive. I feel like this music sounds loud. Is it too loud? No? Let me turn down... No, that's not right. I can turn it down like that. Yes, I was on vacation, but I'm back now. How are you doing? K-pop junkie says I'm making Batman plushie. What? Like logos? Like to sell? Oh my gosh. That sounds amazing. He did a return stream the other day showing vacation photos, yes. And I'm an hour late getting to this. I feel like Rocky noticing the chat exists. Why am I only hearing about this now? Notifications are rebelling. Yes, I had a stream on Friday, Mo Biggs, catching up with you all, and also going over comics I picked up over Wednesday. And it was like my backlog of comics from while I was gone because I didn't pick up any comics where I was. However, this past Saturday, it was really cool because in one of the stores, in Frank's stores, Amazing Fantasy, he had a little flyer there for somebody was having a comic sale over the weekend, like a garage sale comic sale. And it wasn't too far from where I live, so I was like, oh, I'll check it out. And I went, and it was a guy by the name of Ron who frequents Frank's store, Amazing Fantasy. I've met him once before. I had no idea he was the one who was putting on the sale, but it was like, out of the garage of his house. But he had it really organized. It was almost like a store in his garage. And he just was selling stuff at like bargain prices. Had some great Golden Age, Bronze Age comics. So it was one of those things where like I had no agenda going into it. Like it wasn't like I was looking for anything in particular. But he had tons of dollar boxes, tons of just back issues of stuff. And so I was just like flipping through, and all these other collectors came at the time. And so it was really cool. Got to talk with some of them. Saw some other people who I've run into at the stores before, and it was one of those moments where I was like, oh, I love this about comics. Like everybody here is for something different. It's not like we were all there to find the same books. We were just searching through this guy's collection looking for hidden gems, and I found quite a few actually, which I will share with you guys probably this coming Wednesday. Like it'll be part of the haul for my Wednesday comics. But yes, found some really cool stuff. And it's like one of those things where you just don't know what you're going to get. I don't know if I like this curve. This curve's kind of weird. It's not giving me the control that I was looking for. Oops. I'm just not used to it. I should have practiced. Yeah, that's better. And I made a mistake already. Already kind of screwed that up. Also, for any newcomer who might be watching, expect a baby eating kiwi to pop out your screen when Rocky finally sees marks. There you go. Just get you some of that textured paint to make your stamp ink. Maybe, yeah. Thanks. Was that the super chat video? Yeah. I missed a 3.5 hour long stream. That's practically a super show. A Mo Biggs trademark super show. Yeah. No, it was a good one. It was really good catching up with everybody, and there were some good comics in the mix too. Most of it was the catch up. Yeah, I guess this curve is okay. What's nice is like once you set the curve, like I found the curvature of these wires, then I can just kind of move it down and create the multiple wires that are there. So that's cool. It's a lot easier than freehanding it. But I do have to white out some corrections in a second. Oh, I guess you'll hear that hiss a little bit more, John, when I, like right there where I pushed the mic away from my face, but it gets a little closer to the computer fan. All right, that's cool. And all this extra technical stuff in here. Waxy ink, yes. It's gonna be okay, Mo Biggs. Don't worry. You can always go back and watch it. Mark's music session says, I'm hungry, but gonna try and hold out until after the stream to cook. Oh, don't do that, Mark. I mean, I have this feeling you'll be even hungrier the longer you wait. So don't wait on my behalf. You can always come back. Won't be here for a while. Oh, shoot. I didn't go all the way down. These wires are supposed to go all the way down. All right. Oh, man. Ugh. To go back with some white out on that. All right, I'm kind of done with these curves. This is not a fun panel. There is a lot of technical mumbo jumbo going on here. it's like all these like straight edges. They all have like a slight dimensionality to them, a thickness to them, which is cool, but it's like just more lines you gotta track. This is definitely the non-sexy part of comic book drawing. Everybody wants to get to the like characters and cool poses and the explosions. Oh, there is this one up and coming artist. I've looked at some of his stuff before on stream. His name's Danny Earls. He's an Irish artist, and he used to be a professional soccer player, or footballer as they say. And he's retired and decided that he really wanted to be a comic book artist, so he's just kind of been grinding at it and quickly rising up in the ranks. So he did some issues of like Incredible Hulk recently. He drew like a Punisher short story, an Alien short story. He did some covers for Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles recently. And then I think it just got announced that he's working on a Spawn title. And he did a cover for Spawn that just came out. And but his whole signature thing is the way that he draws backgrounds. He draws these highly complicated perspective backgrounds. And I'd argue he's stronger at drawing backgrounds than he is characters. And he draws great characters, but like he just loves drawing the backgrounds. And so all this kind of perspective stuff, he just eats it up. It's really hard though. Sometimes I switch to this clear ruler because I have to be able to see the line underneath to make sure it's lining up. Okay, let me catch up here. I'm not taking the blame on this one. YouTube notification gate kept me from the stream, John. Finishing up an order, then I'm making a horde of them for a charity event. That's awesome. K-pop, you're like the, what's the word? It's not entrepreneur, it's, oh man. People that do like really good charity stuff and things for good works for comics. I forgot the name. All this time I thought Rocky was on the run with a pig feeder lady tied up in his trunk. Get out of here. Oh my gosh. I'm not gonna hurt you. I just want to draw you forever. Can you not stream on your phone, Mark? You could, huh? I can see him fine. Oh no, it's an image. Mark's phone is a rotary. Dang. Operator, connect me. What happened? Just jumped. Wait. Operator, connect me to Rocky Ballesteros YouTube stream. Let's see. Spending ink money to hire a PI to track down your missing stamp is misappropriation of super chat funds. I know. It is. I'm going to get audited. Oh my gosh, I'm really behind. There's the Kiwi baby. That clip will never not bring me joy now. Nice. I thought it was going to be a Kiwi bird. I'm so out of the loop these days. That's what you get for missing one stream. I have enough books and art to have a room for sure. Nice. Timmy Mello's in the house. What's up, Timmy Mello?
And the Guardians are headed to October.
Timmy Mello, I'm going to stop talking about baseball with you because our team, my team, is so bad right now. It's not even funny. It's a lost year. So yeah, we're not going to talk baseball for the rest of the season. It's been bad. So 20 minutes until we got the long, over-emotional, dramatic sigh when Rocky sees me in the chat. Library and art gallery coming soon to MMO's B&B. That would be awesome. A comic B&B, Mark. That would be amazing. Right next for all set up for Pensacon. Oh, yes, yes. Okay, I'm gonna go fast now. MMO lives in paradise with dolphins swimming by. That's right. You need to, the dock, you need to build like a glass bottom. Have you seen those glass bottom boats or whatever where people can see in the water? You can see the dolphins. That would be awesome. Yeah. You want me to be drawing, right? Isn't that the whole point of Master Study streams? The computer is loud because Rocky isn't using his quiet, sneaky, hacking computer. Mo Biggs, please enjoy Rocky's elevator music while you wait for him to acknowledge your presence. My music is always too loud. Oh dear. Oh dear. Oh dear. Did I turn it down? I'm doing fantastic. Thank you for asking. Good to see you alive and well. Let's hope YouTube doesn't blow a gasket for the instance of background music in a stream. So I'm using YouTube's music. So that's why, which is kind of sneaky of YouTube to like gatekeep it a little bit that way, but I don't want to get into trouble, so I just use the music that YouTube says you're not going to get into trouble. Because the other music that I did get into trouble was like other sites that said, no, this is copyright free music. So those are the ones that tripped me up. So I'm not doing that again. That sucked. Okay, gotta keep going. Rocky insisting he went to the garage sale with no agenda makes me question what his agenda must have been. To just dig, just the hunt. That's actually what I told him, because when I walked into his garage, he was like, "Are you looking for anything in particular?" And I said, "Nope." I said, "Just hunting. It's just the hunt, the joy of the hunt," which is so much for me. Is a big part of comic book collecting, is discovering things that you weren't looking for, or that you might have like just had on a list in the back of your mind and couldn't find. Like I found a couple issues of the Shadow comic drawn by Frank Robbins, and I collected one of his issues. I found one of his issues randomly in a bin at another store, at like a used bookstore, and then I saw his work that he did on the Defenders, that old book, The Defenders, which was like Submariner and who are the other characters of the Defenders? invaders. This is Frank Robbins stuff. I love his artwork. Super cool. Captain America, Submariner, Human Torch. I don't know who that girl is. So yeah, I just kind of fell in love with his artwork and I started looking for it, and I saw that he had drawn maybe 4 or 5 issues of the Shadow. I love the character of the Shadow. And so I'm on the hunt. They're not easy to find at all because they're old, really old, and there's not many that's in print. Oh yeah, Union Jack, I think, was another character in the Invaders. And yeah, this guy's garage sale just happened to have 2 of the issues I was looking for. I was like, score. All right, let me try and make sure I get to the end of the end of the chat before I start drawing again. YouTube is like Bancroft's poor cat Nugget, cruelly neutered and then giving up on life. Oh, geez. Why did this guy bring binoculars to a garage sale? Cooking, but trying to keep up with the chat. Oh my gosh. I can't even keep up with the chat. It's right in front of my face. Yes, don't burn anything. I'm glad it was an enjoyable experience. I'm glad you're cooking, Mark. That's what Lindsay Rose says. Rocky, I turned my audio compressor off. The hiss isn't there anymore. Oh, interesting. Interesting. MMO has super audio equipment. Couldn't hear it at first, so I realized it was on my end. I mean, I can hear it in my ears. So it's definitely there. The absence of hiss may also indicate that Rocky's less favorite cat finally caught that infamous stream and ran away. Oh no, that was probably one of the toughest things of going away for as long as we did, was leaving our cats behind, and we were missing them. We were definitely missing them. But we had a friend come and house sit as well as watch our cats, and she was sending us pictures of the cats. They didn't warm up to her until like the last week we were gone, which is pretty typical. Oh my gosh, there's so many lines. This is going to go down in history as like one of the most tedious panels that I've drawn on these Master Study streams. But I'm confident it will look cool once I'm done. Especially once I blacken in these parts. don't feel bad for the cat. Definitely don't feel bad for the cat. Ask Mark to help. He can walk you through the steps over Telegram. The fruit of dedication shows if you have the drive, you can make it work even if you're coming from a radically different background like sports and jump into comics. Yes. And why is this so crazy large? The amazing thing about... Let me see if that works. That's better. The amazing thing about that artist, Danny Earls, is exactly that. Like he even talks about it, how he just kind of applied the same work ethic that he did as a professional athlete into becoming a comic book artist. And he just grinded at it and just kept doing submissions after submissions and like meeting people and putting his work out there. And it's really inspiring. He's got a great attitude of it. And then he's like, I follow him on X and Instagram. And if you follow his posts, it's like he's just showing his drawings a lot, his work in progress drawings. And then next thing you know, you'll see a post of him like deadlifting, like, I don't know how many pounds. So he's crazy dedicated. And I think just the more that he's put his work out there, the more he's realized like how much he loves drawing sets and buildings and perspective and backgrounds. And it's just now becoming like his signature thing. So it's really cool. Oh man, that just bled. Gear. That's why I don't like using this clear ruler. It doesn't have a raised edge, and so if the ink is still wet, it kind of smears a little bit. Oy, oy, oy. Can you imagine when I start drawing this panel? Oh my gosh. Gonna get a headache. Cranberry Rangers, what's up? How are you doing?
This is a cranberry, full of power.
Is Rocky spilling ink? I'm spilling all the ink, Cranberry. Philanthropist, thank you. Awesome. Coming in here with a vocab. Thank you very much. Mark once sent me a very brief and confusing telegram. Dear Mo, stop. It would almost be impossible to have more tech in this house in all actuality. I'm gonna do this. Yeah, Mark, you seem like a super techie person. MMO is a tech junkie, that's right. Play just the two of us, Rocky. It fits the atmosphere of the stream. What's that supposed to mean? I do like that song, though. Hit the like, everyone, please. Yes, please do. And if you haven't subscribed, I'm sure all of you have. I trust all of you have. Please subscribe, though, on the chance that you haven't. Look at we're at 601 subscribers. Amazing. I did join. So as I'm prepping the channel, we're getting there for like the memberships and all that kind of stuff and building that out. One of the things I'm doing is researching more Discord stuff. If you guys have Discord channels that you recommend, let me know in the chat, because I'm all about like looking at what other people have done, what works, what's interesting. And so I joined a few other Discord channels, not necessarily to be like super active in them, but just to kind of see how people build communities there. And one of the communities that I just joined was, I believe the Discord server is called Heather Just Plays, and she's a YouTuber who, she's a content creator, professional YouTuber, and her husband in particular is how I found her, because he does incredible like tech reviews and stuff, just a super likable guy, and he does it so well. Like his video always looks great, his sound always sounds great, and that appeals to me as somebody who loves tech as well. And so I found her channel, and I guess like she's all about community building, more specifically in the gaming world, which I'm not a part of. But now she's expanded that more to like content creators and artists and just creatives in general. And so I joined her channel, her Discord channel, just to see what she's doing and how she's building things out. So it's pretty cool. And very inspiring. So I'm trying to apply some of that stuff to what I'm doing. But if you guys have Discord channels that you recommend that are cool, like cool community things, not just like, you know, that they're doing something cool in it that makes you like the community, let me know, because I'm all ears trying to figure that out. Oh, anyway, the reason why I brought up Heather's channel was she has this spot for content creators of like, hey, if you have a channel, sign up here and tell us about it and just like promote it. And so I put this channel up there. So maybe that's who the extra 3 subscribers are that pushed us over 600. That would be awesome. I'm going to call them the Lime Jello subscribers from here on out. So using the Fat Rat music is still out of the question. I would love to. I'm really nervous, Comrade Sammy, just based on the hoops I had to jump through for the little bit of quote-unquote copyright safe music I did. Although, now that I had to put all those things in the descriptions, what Fat Rat is saying doesn't seem as foreign or like out of the question now. So let me go recheck the requirements for using Fat Rat's music, because I know that he kind of set it up so that people can use it during streaming and stuff like that. So let me check into it. I'm not gonna say no yet for that. Timmy Mello says, imagine getting flagged by YouTube for using YouTube approved. It might happen. This stream that we're doing right now might become a nightmare based on all the music I'm playing from YouTube. So who knows? That would be perfect soundtrack for a Bancroft Star Trek stream. Him and the one viewer. The Shadow knows. That's right, Lindsay Rose. That is right. Shadow's a great character. Great character. Great design. Star Trek is less than... You know what, Lindsay Rose? I am 100% in agreement with that comment right there. 100%. Transportation to and from Pensacon provided by car, or if weather permits, boat at Mark's Music and Comic Art B&B. That's amazing. That will be the best. That will be the best. I would stay there. I gotta ask Cherished if she's been to the new Superman statue by the convention center in downtown Cleveland here. Was that from the movie? Did they just put it up because of the movie? That's awesome. Oh sure, Rocky got a house sitter for the cats, but left us to fend for ourselves. Next thing, I'll have to get a channel sitter for you guys when I go on vacation. Is that what you're saying? Okay, do I need to draw any more of these dang lines? Cause I'm getting tired. Getting tired of drawing. Oh, here. Almost there for this panel. Like, you gotta always kind of keep in mind of like perspective when stuff is, there's a lot of elements to the perspective. It's like making sure things line up with what you've drawn before, because all it takes is one totally off parallel line, and then everything is gonna look wonky. These little technical chimichangas here. My goodness. This is why some artists, as they got more and more successful or busy, would hire assistant artists or assistant inkers or whatever to do this kind of stuff, and they would just focus on all the like cool stuff, the very stylized, or like the character work, the faces. I know Rob Liefeld would do that, and some of the even some of the older masters would do that. They would hire, they do this a lot in manga too, where they would hire people to like fill in all this mindless detail while they focused on all the cool things. And that's how you get started. Then you learn, and then you kind of move up in the ranks, hopefully, as you get better. seeing the light at the end of the tunnel here. If I can just finish. That's cool. It's coming out cool. YouTube always errs on the side of the bigger corporations. I would have agreed maybe 20 years ago. Cranberry's talking about, I believe he's talking about Star Wars. Star Wars got worse, but so did Star Trek. True. Breaks over. Ciao, Rocky. Everybody in the chat. See you later, Cranberry. Thank you for coming by. That's true, Mo Biggs. That's right. That's right. Cherish Psalms is back in the house.
What's wrong, little Pookie?
Or Cherish CDs. Is that what we call you now? Cherish. 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 Cherish seed. It looks like the George Reeve take on Superman. Oh, cool. From the old TV show before Christopher Reeves, but it's a really nice statue. They also made Joe Shuster. Wow, that's great. That's great. What a tribute. Especially since they filmed part of that new movie there. So I hope that like James Gunn or the DC Power people, the people who are in Power or whatever, it seems like James Gunn is doing the right thing as far as giving creators credit. I'm sure you guys seen that video circulating around where he brought in a lot of the like comic book artists to come to see the set and stuff like that. And you didn't see that with like, you rarely saw that with like the Marvel movies of them paying tribute to the artists who created all the stuff that Marvel's making bajillions off of. That's part of the reason Rob Liefeld kind of poo-pooed on Marvel in recent months and basically burned the entire bridge of him ever working with them again because he was so fed up with how poorly he was being treated as a creator of Deadpool and Cable and all those characters. So yeah, he's kind of slowly revealing a lot of horror stories about Kevin Feige and just how poorly he treated Rob Liefeld. So it's great to see the opposite of that. For at least for the new DC stuff. And were Siegel and Schuster, were they from Cleveland, or is it just because of the movie, or were they originally from there? Oh my gosh, this is unending. When I think it's done, I see more little techie lines that have to be drawn. Oh, and one of the things, totally random, but thought I'd ask you guys. One of the things I saw on this Discord channel, Heather Just Plays Discord channel, is there, I don't know how they do it, but they're doing like some watch parties. Like, how does that work on Discord? Isn't there a copyright issue with watching, like, I think they were doing like anime watch parties, so like, isn't there a copyright issue? Like, how do they not get striked or struck or flagged? Or is Discord's rules different? Because they were watching some modern stuff. It wasn't like old non-copyright work. Oh my gosh, is that it for these lines? Holy moly. Oh, here's one. This, and there's some of these extra lines. Okay, I think that's good enough. Ugh, I gotta move my eyes on something else. Oh no, here, one more. All right, cool. I'm going to blacken in her Kitty Pryde stuff, and then her like dark areas here, and then I'll add in the shadow, and then we should be close to done on this panel. Goodness gracious, that took a lot. I've seen the Superman statue online, but I haven't seen it in person. I thought it was so cool. I knew he was a Cleveland representative. Oh, okay, cool. That is cool. Got to get it into chat before drawing more. Reads 3 chats. She goes back to drawing. It's a thing. It's a thing. Drawing is very important. You can't be distracted too much. There we go. You guys are used to it by now, right? There's no mask. There's no illusions of who I am. You guys are pretty familiar with the routine and the misgivings of how I do this. The unforgiving job of an inker, that's right. I feel like I would want to ink instead of being a colorist, but it's hard to do when you consider line weight, etc. I love... that's the beauty of it. I mean, I think that's the challenge and the beauty of it, like line weight. It's not just... There's always that joke of like, oh, an inker's like a tracer, but no, it's not. It's... there's just this, like... There's a total art form to it, and I respect it immensely. I think I not in comics, but like in animation when I was starting out in my career, we were doing things traditionally, and I was working at a commercial studio, and you know, I would get, it was like this, I would get like rough pencil drawings from whoever was the key animator on a job I was working on, and then I as an assistant would have to do a clean line on it. And most of the times we wouldn't use ink, we would use pencils. Different different softness or hardness of lead to give us a different quality line, but we would be using pencils and we'd have to craft that clean, finished line look on the rough drawings. And a big part of that is like you're not just tracing it. I mean, the good assistants weren't just tracing the rough drawings with a one width line. It was like you were adding line weight and thick and thin, and a lot of that had to do with understanding anatomy and volume, and where do you put the thick part of the line, where do you put the thin part of the line, how do you taper it, and where's the direction of the light coming from, how do you show weight in a character's design or form or costume using line weight. So oftentimes, again, it's kind of like in comic art, depending on your penciler, or in animation's case, the rough animator, you could get a bunch of scribbly lines and you have to figure out how to interpret their drawing and make it look on model and clean. Or you could get, I remember working behind some fantastic animators who, they were super tight in their pencils, and so there was no question where everything was. But you still had to give it that nice finished line. And I was working so much in that capacity that I started enjoying it so much. I realized, like, oh, I love this. I love that the final look of stuff, giving it that clean finish. So that's why I admire really good inkers and what they do and what they add to an image. This ink kind of stinks, man. I think I mentioned it before. It has this like weird fish smell to it. Oops. That looks so cool with the black spotted in. These days, too, in the comic book industry, less and less do you find really strong penciler inker teams, and more you just see somebody doing the whole thing, pencils, inks, and sometimes even colors too, because of digital technology. But I love, it's almost like a lost art. There's something about that collaboration between a penciler and an inker which is magical. Like you just see it in, or you can see it in like Jack Kirby's work, like when he was inked by a certain inker, it would look a certain way, and then he's inked by somebody who's not as good. You're like, oh, why is Jack Kirby's art not look as great? And then the more and more they collaborated, the more and more it was like, it became the style. Terry Austin was another one. Like once he touched somebody else's pencils, it was like, oh, immediately elevated it. little bit more thickness to her boot. What's it all about? That looks cool. Oh, here. On this thing, I think I need to give this an edge. See how that's coming together, like with these heavy blacks placed in. Now you kind of feel how solid she is, and then as she's passing through all the like technical stuff. It's cool. Rocky spilled the tea. One of the bald eagles just flew by. Kind of surprised me. They're big and beautiful. Nice. Was it like Eagly in Peacemaker? Jim Lee has a Discord. No kidding. Really? Oh, I'll have to look that up. You love tech. Are you an Asian stereotype? Kind of. Hopefully she'll send a few new subscribers your way. Help me flex my community organizing muscles. Yay for Star Wars. Rocky prefers Star Wars over Star Trek. Hands down. So much for you guys and your Asian stereotypes. Is Star Trek an Asian thing? What's going on? Also, there's always been a Superman collection in the Great Cleveland Library. It's a huge collection. I love it even more now after the Superman movie. Okay. Her constantly chirping is a bad influence on that baby. John, she has derailed and ran away. Emo's gone. Where'd she go? I've been there numerous times. The Superman stuff on display there, including the Siegel desk, are incredible relics of history. That's crazy. Okay, remind me next time I'm in Cleveland. I gotta go visit that stuff. That sounds amazing. I got the honor and privilege of... sorry, I was just making sure I had the right pen. The honor and privilege of meeting Charles Schultz's wife. Charles Schultz, the creator of Peanuts comics, and seeing his desk and like tools and stuff like that. So he is from north of here. What is the area that he's in? It's not Petaluma. It's somewhere north of here, across the bridge. And they have a Peanuts museum, which is really fun and beautiful, with all these relics and, you know, stuff from his childhood, his original comic strips and whatever. And it's awesome. It's a great museum. And we happened to be, at the time, the studio that I had, we happened to be doing some work, some contract work for... who's the company that owns Peanuts? Like, is it American Greetings? I can't remember. One of those companies that owned the Peanuts license. And so they brought us up to the museum, and we were looking around and just oohing and awing at everything. And then the person who was showing us around said, "Oh, would you like to meet Schultz's wife? She happens to be here." And we're like, "What?" Yeah. And so they brought us behind the scenes or whatever in the museum and She even pulled out like originals, Peanuts originals, and laid them out for us to look at. It was unbelievable. Super nice lady. I don't know if she's alive anymore, but it was awesome. And yeah, it was just one of those things. It's like it was his hometown. He built this museum there to honor the town and also the work, and it's just really cool to visit that. So I'm assuming, based on everything you guys are mentioning, that one of those guys, or both of those guys, Siegel and Schuster, are from Cleveland. This is so messy. Let me take this. Yeah, well. This I gotta white out here. And then yeah, I think I need to create another edge here. Before I add black. Yeah, I think that's a good idea. To give that a little bit of separation there. Zzz. Hear that buzz. Rocky accomplished the things. Me, one light of my pendant. The music has turned to East Asian mysticism music. Is it really loud? Did it finish? I think it finished. No? Is it really loud? I hope it's not too loud. Marvel and DC are their own worst enemies, burning down their own production houses. Yeah, I suppose breaking into the movie business has not done them well at all. Michael Bancroft, long time no see. How are you doing, Bancroft?
That's a knife. That's a knife.
Jerry Siegel was born here. His childhood house was in East Cleveland, but Joe Shuster was born in Toronto and moved to Cleveland as a kid. Really? Canadian. Go figure. I think they avoid getting strikes because not even the algorithm wants to endure anime. Nice. Yeah, it is. It's a whole thing. I mean, I think it's better now, but we're talking like the the uber legend creators like Jack Kirby, Schuster, Siegel, those guys, they did not get their due. And based on how much money and how they built up what Marvel and DC are, it's really, really sad. They like died, fighting things in court, and really, I don't want to say penniless, but some of them, like, did not have a lot of money at the end of their lives and could not afford health care, and it's really sad. So yeah, it's bad. Kind of on the backs of these legends, some of the most iconic cultural icons. Iconic cultural icons. That's redundant. Some of the the biggest icons in our culture that were created. Those guys should get all the rewards, Right. I think up close before I have to add in this shadow, and I think I'm gonna do it black. I think so. I don't think I'm gonna do anything fancy like these lines for shadows. I think that'll get too busy. Isn't it funny, like the way that BYRNE and Terry Austin dealt with the tech here? It's the same kind of way they're doing it here. Yeah, I don't want to get too fancy on that shadow. I think I'm just going to go solid black, but I did consider doing something like this for this shadow. The shadow is a Wolverine shadow up here. Because you want it to be clear that it's a shadow. Yeah, I think I'm just going to go all black. Okay. So, what am I doing? I am going back to this tool to do the outline. And then I'll blacken it in. Maybe because Discord servers do not funnel money back to the server owner creator. Yeah, the equivalent of inviting your friends over to watch a movie. That's what it feels like. So, hopefully, we'll see. I'm hoping to try and attend one of those, and maybe I can see more of how it's done, or watch a YouTube video about how it's done. But I think I've seen people have done it with Netflix. I don't have a Crunchyroll subscription, which does anime. Not that I would stream anime, but doing a watch party sounds kind of cool. I know Shant does it, but he has to find movies that don't have copyright issues, and that's a whole thing. And plus the kind of movies that he's streaming, he does those old-timey older films where you wouldn't run into so much copyright issue as you would more recent ones. So yeah. I don't even know how some people get away with playing clips from movies and stuff just for fun, on their streams. It's part of their streams, and they'll play these clips that have from movies or copyrighted music, and they don't get a strike. Is it a Creative Commons license thing? I don't know. I just don't get all this copyright stuff half the time. Yeah. One of the rules of thumb of inking, guys, is to go like directionally so that you're not. I did it wrong here where I like started inking here and then I went in this direction because then my hand, as you can see, smeared. Fortunately, I'm going to be blacking that in anyway, but I should have started from here and went down this way to avoid the smear. I've been doing a lot of smearing on this particular piece. A lot of accidents on John Byrne's Elsewhen. I don't know what to make of that. How we doing? 2.5 hours already. Dang it. 11 watching. Nice. 601 subscribers. Awesome. Yeah, I had to take a nerd break. You can't take a break from nerds. Traditional coloring is fun. Making nerd stuff and hanging with nerds. That's right. That's right. Getting nerdy with it. She's too. I like that reference, John. John, do you know that I know Mr. Yankovic? Do you know that? We've done some work for him, a couple videos for him, and I've gotten to know him through that. So it's pretty cool. He's a very nice guy, very smart man, and super creative. He's not weird at all, actually. At least not in correspondence. But the cool thing too is, in getting to know him, I get a Christmas card from him every year. Straight from the squid. Let's see. Have you deported to Singapore yet, Rocky?
Yes! That's awesome!
No, but I wouldn't be against it. I would not be against it. It's a great country. We were there, I think I mentioned this on the last stream. We happened to be there also for the 60th National Day, like their July 4th. Yeah, I did mention that. And it was great. It was just a lot of patriotism, a lot of national pride, and they have a lot to be proud of. How you doing, awesome one? Can't be true, K-pop never leaves the house. I love it when you guys say hello to each other. Bancroft, Linz. Just, it's like a head nod when you walk into the chat. Nah, I won't leave. Bancroft's plan is to send all heavy blacks to weight loss. Oh my gosh. He has two. Jim Lee, one for everyone and one for like VIPs and subs on Twitch. So does Bernard Chang and David Finch. Okay. I'm going to have to look it up. But are those guys like, I mean, as much as I love them as comic book artists, do they like create a cool community too? Because that's kind of what I love about at least this one group I joined right now, Heather Just Creates. because she is a YouTuber first, she's not a comic book artist, she's a YouTuber and a community expert. Like the way that they're engaging in the community is different than I would think like a comic book artist would. And so I'm really intrigued by that stuff because I think you can do both. And sometimes, you know, comic book artists don't know what they're doing when it comes to certain subjects. They might be amazing comic book artists, but they might not be great on the internet and vice versa. So I kind of want to learn from both camps of how it's done. Two servers though. That makes sense. I mean, you can also on Discord, I know you can like lock certain channels or make them password protected or make like members only channels. So I think that there'll be some of that I want to try. Okay, let me just tighten that up with an ink pen. This was not an easy panel. What are you talking about? Someone? It's a shame we'll never get that much hyped Charles Schultz, George Washington Carver crossover. Peanuts is 75 years old, I believe, this year. Wow. That's crazy. That is crazy. Yes, I feel like it. Definitely feel like it. I was just wondering why there was a Peter Pan branded peanut butter, but no peanuts peanut butter. So I looked it up. They had it, but only in Australia. Is it true? Bancroft, can you confirm that you had peanut butter branded by the Peanuts? That would make sense. Is this more Will Eisner Wolverine? No. Still better than Frank Miller Wolverine. What? John Byrne, yes, it's a John Byrne Wolverine page. Well, not a Wolverine, it's an X-Men page with drawn by John Byrne. Specifically Kitty Pryde and Wolverine, which is pretty classic. I bet I could leave for an hour and Aki still would not read this. It's true. It's true. Awesome one. 1 hour is way too generous to say. An hour and a half, maybe two. Oy, oy, oy. I think I'm just gonna... Did I say Schuster? Whoops. I think I'm just gonna go all black. Rocky's really making a play for that job. Dang. I gotta read these before I read them out loud. As a casting agent, make sure everyone is Asian to keep your family employed. You can say they're all Korean to get that Korean cash. You get claims but not strikes. Oh, okay. Just means that your stream can't be monetized, so you have to forego the 20 cents you otherwise might have had. That makes sense. That's fair enough. Copyright has just been wielded as a cudgel for compliance and not a true claim of error. Yeah. $14 likes, not bad early on, Rocky. Thank you, Mark's Music Obsession. Yes. Killing it. with our 14 likes and 20 cents. When K-pop says she's taking nerd break, she doesn't mean a break from nerd. She means she's going to do something even nerdier than this. Nice. Very nice. Weird Alice. Is he really? No kidding. Really? I didn't know that. I didn't know that. Yes. Yes. He was in everything, Weird Al is. He is just known. Everybody knows him. He is a literal cultural icon, that guy, which is incredible. And he's super humble. Yeah. Very, very just down to earth. And the persona is weird, right? But I feel like he's just a nice dude, really thoughtful, and yeah. And his Christmas cards are the wackiest. They're really funny. They're always like with his family, his wife and his daughter. Everybody's saying that's cool about Weird Al. Yeah, he's awesome. The Jim Lee Discord is kind of just meh, but Finch is a little bit more active, although I'm a part of the student community. Oh, right, because you, I think you had that lesson or something, right? That course that you did. That's cool. Yeah, I wouldn't think that Jim Lee would have time to build a community, but he's big enough that he could have like people do that for him, for sure. There's just people that are really good at community building. I mean, the interesting thing for me too, and part of the other reason why I joined this Discord server, this Heather Just Play Discord server, is she just became a like non-profit, and she's trying to build communities. Like, she was tired of chasing the algorithm to make money or whatever, to like make it a business, you know, the business of being a content creator. Her husband does it well, so I don't think she needs to worry about that. But she was really into the community building aspect of it, and so she decided to go a non-profit route, which I don't think has ever really been done for community building or online community building. And so she's trying out all these cool things with it, so it was really interesting. Oops, was I supposed to color that all black? Was that supposed to be all black? I don't think so. Whoops. There you go, Wolverine's shadow right there. I still haven't figured out what I'm going to do with these word balloons. Okay, I'm gonna call. Oh, okay, I got a few more wires here. I'm gonna catch up on the chat, then I'm gonna decide whether or not I'm gonna start the next panel. If I don't start it, this one took me a little longer than I thought. But if I don't start that other one, then I don't know if I'm going to be able to finish this in one more stream. because that Wolverine panel is going to be a doozy. And this top panel is not going to be easy, especially with all the technical stuff. So I feel like I need to get ahead on it. Oh. This is part of the column here. I thought Wolverine just had like spiky shoulders, but no, that's part of the column. All right, I'm gonna call that done for now. I probably have to go in and do some additional marks here and there. But there we go. 3 panels are done. Not bad, not bad. This one was tough. Oh, yeah, I forgot. Let's see, so... Bleh. This is see-through. I got confused. That makes more sense. Rocky likely has not gotten his first YouTube paycheck yet. The disappointment will be palpable. Apparently, I'm supposed to hit a certain amount before they. There's all these like. It's almost like a game. And they're like, well, congratulations, you made the dough. And now you have to do this next thing to keep going. So it's kind of how it is with the payments. But we're getting there. I'm not too worried about it. Maybe I shouldn't discriminate against the skinny ones. I was in an outdoor 2-week program, found out at the end that the principals came from Nazis. I was like, wow, okay. I cannot confirm I only ever ate sanatorium peanut butter, but I'm off that now. Too many. Sanatorium? That is the worst name of a peanut butter that I've ever heard in my life. That sounds like... I don't know. That sounds really like janitory, insanatory. That's not a good name. Who came up with that? The barista at Starbucks today had a massive tick tattoo. A tick, not the comic character. Oh, gross. Cranberry Landers coming in here flailing his arms. White Nerdy is in my head as I'm watching an Asian draw. Hey, there you go. That's the beauty of America right there. I'm still lurking. Howdy, Bancroft and Adam. Awesome one. It's a girl's last day at work today. There's an insufferable amount of ahs going around. I can see Bancroft like putting on headphones and just like I have to do some other stuff. So lurking, nice see you. What freaked me out today at Starbucks was a I'm not gonna even read this out. Oh no. Oh no, and quite the manly man to be on a floor by himself. All right. Just bust out your rollerblades and get out of there. Oh my lord. Sorry, Bancroft. Nice. Nice. At least you have that still in your neck of the woods. Because even here, they're taking that away here, even. Some places are. Sometimes we don't even have the privilege of being able to do our thing in private with our own gender. I'm not gonna put that up. Bancroft needs more beer. Here's a Foster's. Trying to make a living as a content creator influencer is almost as risky as trying to make a living as a gambler. I would agree with that. Maybe they're getting rid of the woman who... I've been 2 days a week in the office since the lockdowns ended. Wow. It's why I don't stream at the start of the week anymore. Oh. Mel works at the same place I do again. We have lunch dates. Aww. That's so cute. The page is looking great so far. Thank you. Thank you, Bancroft. Thank you for not spelling my name right. No, I'm just joking. Thank you so much. Yeah, it's coming along. It's coming along. It's the meat of this page is here, and I love this eye too. But yeah, we'll see. We'll see. This kind of kicked my butt a little bit, which is ironic because unexpected because it's probably the most quote unquote unexciting panel on this page. So we'll see. We'll see once we get here. All right, I'm going to get to the end of chat and I'm going to see where we are. Maybe I can go at least maybe I can start. Maybe I need to cleanse my palette by sketching in a little bit of Kitty Pryde up here. Good marriage stuff, Bancroft, apparently. Sanatorium sounds like it's good for your health and may involve a lobotomy. Exactly. YouTube. Nah, I don't want to give up my bag of cash. Make Rocky jump through more obstacles to slow him down. Yeah, it's kind of like that. It is. Depends on the tattoos. Depends on the tattoos. Right after you read that, another 3 huge ahs dropped. Quite the manly man. Bust out your rollerblades. It's funny because at my old studio, the 3 of us owners were guys. We eventually had a 4th partner, and who was one of my partner's wives, so it was not all guys all the time. But at one point, it was the 3 of us were guys, and then I think we had more women working for us at one time. And so I do remember them being certain days, and I loved all my coworkers and the people that worked for us. It was just a great bunch of people. But there were some days where we had to go back into our room because the 3 of us had our own office together, and we'd like shut the door and just be like stupid dudes together because you needed that space. So I can't imagine you being by yourself on a floor full of women saying goodbye to another woman. It was a typo. It's cold in here. Nice. It's not Bancroft's fault for misspelling your name, Rocky. I've been trying to train him to drop superfluous U's and spell like a proper American. Nice. Back in the day when you were rewarded a wage on any line of work, the employer actually honored their commitment, as did the employer who produced for them, Cranberry Landers. Can't have nothing. Yes. Yeah, it's true. It's true. We're kind of on our own planet in California. Past job had mostly women bosses and the 2 men bosses were drunk. That sounds like fun. I don't know if that sounds better or being the only guy on a floor of all women. Not sure. It depends on what age you are, at what age they are, and your marital status. I think that depends on that too. Okay, let's see. Just want to make sure I got everything here. I will have to go back and do... there's a little bit. I'll do that later. Okay, so should I start this one? What do you guys think? Should I? I think I need to, like, start her head. I'm going to do her head. Maybe I'll just do her. I feel like it won't take that long. It's all this technical stuff I definitely cannot finish today. So let's try it. Let's see. You guys are still here. Nobody's leaving, right? 13 watching. That's good. That's a good sign. Subscribers stay the same. We're still 601, which is awesome. Lime Jello is in play. Lime Jello cottage cheese is in play. We're all good. Let's do it. Let's do it. What the heck? It's Monday. Mark, I hope you were able to start dinner. I hope you haven't been waiting around all this time. All right. Let's do it. I love this. Can you guys see it? I love this face. And so I definitely want to channel some of that beautiful line work on this face. If I can do it. Oh man. Come on. Activate. There we go. So funny because one of the things I notice about just like cartooning and specifically drawing women's eyes. Oh my gosh. So quiet in here. Is artists love to do this, like the eyelash or the bunches of eyelash all the way around to the bottom. But when you think about it, with the way people's natural eyelashes are, they don't curve all the way around the eyeball like that. You usually have eyelashes up here at the top and then sometimes at the bottom, but they don't curve around like the side of the eyes here. But if you don't draw them that way, it kind of doesn't look right. So wow. Part of the reason I keep hitting my mic is I have a stand that is like a low stand. It has a low arm because that's just the way it connects to my desk better. But I feel like I need one that's higher so I don't keep swiping and hitting the stupid mic. Women's facial features are so delicate, and if you mess up one line, it can make them look really weird. So there's usually an economy of line on when people draw women's faces. Do you guys have favorite, I know you do, favorite artists who draw, comic artists who draw women? Like, who are your favorite artists? I would say for me, Mark Silvestri is one of them. Adam Hughes. Arthur Adams. Dave Stevens. I'd say John Byrne's up there. I like the way he draws his women. Always very appealing. At least earlier John Byrne. I don't know. That's... J. Scott Campbell. What else do I like? Coffee time. Need a 6:45 calming drink. Need a new oversized king bed comforter now, Bancroft. An Australian beach version would be epic. Okay, what? Wait, I'm way behind now all of a sudden. I work in textiles homewares. Oh, okay. That kind of makes more sense now. You got to 600. Congrats. Yes, Cranberry. On this stream, too. Pretty amazing. More like bed linen, cushions, blankets, towels. It's an interesting job. Are you a folder? Is your job to fold? After a few too many tea incidents, Bancroft decided it would be best to work somewhere that had plenty of towels on hands. Okay. Bancroft's identity is a folder. Nice. That's a new icon for his streams. Okay. Women's facial features are so delicate. If you mess one up line, they look really weird. So sit still for once, big feeder lady. Oh my gosh. You'll never let me live that down. McKinney draws, but his stuff can be not safe for work at times. I haven't heard of him. Well, a little nervous to Google that. We knew you were gone when Rocky read your name aloud and you still said nothing. Yeah, emo trash. Emo doesn't have 20 minutes to wait for a response. About 30 minutes or more. J. Scott Campbell, Adam Hughes, Arthur Adams, whoever did Wonder Woman's Eyes of the Gorgon. Which one was that? I don't even know if I know that story. I'm trying to think. I know there's somebody else I'm missing. I thought Jim Lee, at a time, I really loved the way that he drew women. And then I felt like it became oversaturated a little bit with all the people that drew like Jim Lee. Trying to think of like modern day artists. What in the heck is that? Is that her butt? Oh yeah, I think that's part of her butt. Here goes the hair. So Bancroft, if you and your wife work at the same place, did you guys meet there? Or who was there first? Did she get you hired there? Is there nepotism going on? Are you there right now? Why am I whispering? You are there right now, right? Because of the awe party going on. Parents left, so I seized the opportunity to do a couple things while they were both finally vacant from the house. Olivetti? Oh. Yeah, Olivetti's good. Yeah. She was on the moon to have the house to herself, so she seized the opportunity. Bancroft didn't laugh at my folder joke. I got your joke. Frank Cho, Jim Lee. I'm not a big Cho fan. Yeah, I'm not a big Cho fan, to be honest. I mean, he's good. He's definitely solid, but never got into his stuff for whatever reason. Frazetta, he's another one who could draw women. My goodness. I know this comes with just practice and experience, but I really feel like I have no control over my thick and thin on these lines. Just kind of willy-nilly. Michael Turner always next to Ed McGuinness and Todd Knock as a kid, but Jim Lee and David Finch definitely on the list as an adult and to the point of studying them. Yeah, Finch. I mean, Finch is he's great. He's one of the top. But I don't. If I were to think of like a female figure that he drew, I couldn't pinpoint one that was like, oh my gosh, like I would some of those other guys I named. Travis Charest, I'd say, has drawn some amazing female characters in the past. Alright, cool. That's cool. I didn't totally screw up that face. And that's the sound of door unlocking. Guess I did it all in the nick of time. Rocky, this guy Shanth draws it. True. How dare I forget that man. I like ones where they draw women like really realistically too, capturing their real expressions. Yes. That's why I love Adam Hughes as women. They're amazing. He always gets these like incredible expressions. Yeah, I'm just scanning my shelves. think I listed most of the ones that really stood out to me. Bolland, Brian Bolland's great. My word, Emo, how many bodies did you have to dispose of? Umberto Ramos. Okay. I'm not a big fan of the way he drew women. Oh, I'd say Joe Mad too. Joe Mad drew some good female characters. They met when backpacking through Europe to test out his new rollerblades. Yes. Nepotism can be scandalous. It can be. I don't like Cho's male bodies. Say that 5 times. Sending a check in the mail, is this John or Mark? His animals, women, backgrounds, and effects are good. He does weird body shapes to me. Yeah, I'm tackling hair with a pen tip, right? Crazy. Cho is really great, but his women are kind of generic. Since his time-lapse drawings are wonderful. Still, his time-lapse drawings are a wonderful find. Yeah. Yeah, I don't know. I don't know why he's never clicked for me. Maybe because I compared him. He was too similar or too much in the same vein as Adam Hughes for me. And Adam Hughes is just by far king of cheesecake girl art. Hard to beat, and kind of Cho was like eking in that same world with his drawings. Boom. Ugh, these wires are going to be the death of me. You know what I'm going to do is I think I'm going to I'll finish up this hand here today. Probably end the stream there, and then I'm going to do all this technical stuff offline. Because it's going to just drive me crazy if I had to draw more of that on stream. So then by the next time I do a live, we'll be on this panel. Because I do want to try and wrap it up in 3 streams if I can. That would be great. So let me finish up this hand, and then we'll call it. Actually, I gotta go to the bathroom. 1 second. Need to take a wee break. I will be right back. Do you guys want to stare at the drawing, or do you want to just stare at the drawing? I'll be right back. Timmy Miller says, show is really great, but the women are kind of generic. Oh, yeah, we just read that. But, man, Michael Turner really knew how to draw the ladies. Michael Turner, yes. He was great. I was never big Michael. Rest in peace, Michael Turner. I was never a huge fan. Here, this is Dave Stevens. What kind of, you can't get any better than that. And this is where Adam Hughes got a lot of his influence. Look at that brushwork. I saw some of these originals in person. Oh, is this not the one where she's at the end? Oh no, this isn't the one. Where did the other book go? I mean, look at that face. That's just killer. Look at that cutie cute face. Amazing expressions. Yeah, I'd say Dave Stevens is one of the top, for me, of comic book artists that draw female characters. All right, what am I doing here? Oh yeah, I'm catching up on chat, and then Adam Hughes is great. Also, the skin tones. I should read up on these names. Yeah, do it. A wee little break. That's right. Right. I was almost expecting Gothic's music. Rocky's the last dude still. I love the wee. Let us stare at the drawing. By the way, thanks for telling us about your ablutions. Ablutions. Wow. That's a word of the day. Bancroft or Mo Biggs, what's that artist name that drew the girl on the dinosaur with the bow featured on ArtShare the other night? Was it a Mark Schultz character? Mark Schultz is good too. You put Adam Hughes and Frank Cho in the same department, but I don't. I don't consider them going for the same destination. Really? Okay. Not the like cheesecake good girl art? Sammy eats the dreams of the dead she slew as ninja. Okay. All right, I'm going to finish up this hand here, and then we're going to call it. Gosh, I hope I don't make a mistake. In the last few minutes, please, oh please, don't let me drip ink. Yeah, what did I say? Arthur Adams, Dave Stevens, Adam Hughes, Silvestri. I think those are tops. J. Scott Campbell, you know. I mean, J. Scott Campbell, he's making a living just off of doing variant covers now. really want to blacken that stuff in, but I need to resist the urge. All right, there we go. Kitty Pride. Half there, half not. And I will finish the all the technical mumbo jumbo off stream so that we can get to this main panel down here. Wolverine going ham wild here at the bottom. I also got to figure out what I'm doing with these word bubbles. I think I'm just going to hand ink the word bubbles as they are. I think that'll be fine. So cool. We did some considerable progress here. The guy I'm asking about is amazing and draws beautiful women. Great everything else too. Okay, maybe I gotta go back and watch the art share. Do you know when that was? Was that the latest one? Bancroft does some great, discovers some great work there. Louis LaRosa. Oh, I've heard of Louis LaRosa. I think he has like a Kickstarter or something going on right now. That sounds very, very familiar. How far is the inkwell? The inkwell. You mean how far down? It's I mean, I've been filling this little bottle with this big guy, the drippy drip guy. And I've got a lot more to go in that. So not that far. Yeah, but different goals, not saying they're not similar, but I saw Cho's work develop and he had different foundations. All right. Fair enough. Fair enough. Louis LaRosa. Okay, cool. Yeah, I'll have to look that. I'll have to look it up. But I'm pretty sure I know his work. It's like very realistic looking, if I'm not mistaken. Dinner is served. It's 5 o'clock. Does he know where his cats are? Oh yeah, one of them's sleeping here. He hasn't started bothering me yet, but if I move around, he will. The other one's upstairs, and if he sees me, he'll start bothering me. So it's definitely time. I'm sure Rocky knows where his favorite one is. Yeah, he's not in the room. This is a work in progress by Louis LaRosa. Rocky. Okay, let me click on that. Oh, dang. Yeah, that's good. This is the guy I was thinking of. All right, I'll pull this up. Whoa, that's weird. No? I guess so. Let me just move this more in frame, though, because that looks crazy. Yeah, that's amazing. That's an amazing pic. He has to have used photo reference on that or something, some sort of reference to figure out that angle. It does remind me a little bit of Mark Schultz. Look up Mark Schultz's work, Mark. He's kind of in the same, I'd say a contemporary of Dave Stevens, and he did a series called Cadillacs and Dinosaurs, and he had this like woman character in it and a dashing man, and they were like stuck in this prehistoric world. It's kind of cool. Kitty Pride, half there, half not. Cranberry's work is half done. So bored. No blinky light to look at. My printer light. You might be right on Frank Cho going for Adam Hughes' work, Rocky. I thought he was just going for what he liked. Well, I mean, you never know. You don't know who's influenced by what. I did see similarities in the subject matter and kind of the cheesecake style, but Adam Hughes learned that from Dave Stevens. He learned that from Kevin McGuire is another one I'm pretty sure Adam Hughes was looking at. And all the the old school magazine artists like Petty and I can show you guys one great artist I love. He's not a comic artist, but he's great with female characters. Here you guys are. Here you guys are. Bother me. Where is the art book? No. Here it is. If you guys seen this artist, Earl Oliver Hearst. Oops, hit my camera. He's not a comic book artist. He's a magazine, print artist from the 30s and 40s. But look at that. Look at that expression. Incredible. So, effortless. Look at that. Beautiful. Really, really cute, charming female characters. Adam Hughes is also influenced by Alphonse Mucha a lot. And for those of you guys who visit Shant's stream or watch Shant's stream, he talks about Mucha a lot, who's a big influence on Shant's work. I know Adam Hughes has looked a lot at Mucha. Look at that face. So appealing. Yeah, he had great... Talk about line weight and just a finish on his work. Amazing. Great fashion sense. I love that one. Look at all those studies. It's great. Her eyes. That nose, too. I love it when they're not generic comic book cartoony noses. They have character to them too, but still beautiful, Crazy good. Yeah, check this guy out. Earl Oliver Hearst. Incredible. Okay, let me wrap up. Rocky's dulcet ASMR voice is making me sleepy. Sorry. Linzer? Yeah. Yeah. He's okay. I forgot the name of his character. I know he was an indie artist too, Linzner. Did a little bit of mainstream work, but he was okay. Pulled up Mark Schultz. Very cool. Thanks, Rocky. Yes. He's got tons of work too, Mark. He was an incredible brush inker. I remember when I started doing streaming and inking on stream with the brush, and Sean sent me a video of Mark Schultz. Somebody had recorded him inking, and it was mind-blowing. You guys heard my cat? You heard my cat? Yes, he knew He was Mr. Monkey Boy 1969 was right about the cats. That's the one benefit of Rocky taking so long to read comics. If you missed it in the chat, you might still hear it. That's a pencil thin waist. That's right. Yes, classic lines. Absolutely. Oh yeah, German Garcia. Yes, I've heard of that artist. Rocky, I think this is the finished version. Oh, Marks, you just keeping me on. Let me see. I love these. Oh, whoops. I love these links that are shared. And this is where Discord will work really well too. To like share this kind of stuff, even when I'm not streaming, just to share artwork. Oh my gosh, this is incredible, Mark. Really good. Holy cow. Love that T-Rex jaw. That's awesome. This just makes my arm hurt looking at this. It is way too much rendering, like in a good way. Detail is insane. Yes. Kari Andrews. You know, the thing with Kari Andrews is like, that dude is a chameleon. I've seen him go through at least 5 or 6 different styles in the course of his career, if not a dozen different styles in the course of his career. In his latest book that he's working on, the Spider-Man and Wolverine book, I forgot to talk about this. I hesitated picking up that book, and everybody's like, "Oh my gosh, it's incredible!" And you can tell that he's trying to channel the Image 90s, like Todd McFarlane Spider-Man in it. There's something about it that's like missing for me. Maybe it's because it's too much of an homage to McFarlane or something. I don't know. I mean, he's great. He's a good artist, but it's also because he's changed styles so many times. I don't really... And some of those styles are incredibly different from each other, that it's like hard for me to get like, who is he as an artist? It's really weird. I mean, he's great. He's successful, but yeah. Now it's library, art gallery, and music hall at MMO's B&B. That's right. 5 stars for Mark's Music Obsessions B&B. Joshua Middleton. Yeah, he was good. He was really good. He had a great painted style. Beach, great seafood. Yes. Yeah, I know who you're talking about. That's cool. Yeah, those are all great suggestions, Cranberry Langers. Except Linsner. No, I'm just kidding. Dawn, I think that was the name of his character, was Dawn. That's what I'd love to be able to do, change styles on a given. I agree. And coming from a commercial background in animation, like that was key to staying relevant, was like being able to be a chameleon in different styles. I think with comic book art, I mean, you want to evolve. You don't want to stagnate in one style. But yeah, sometimes, and it's funny because with Kari Andrews, it's this in particular. It's like, who is his style? It's hard to understand his identity as a comic artist because he's changed so dramatically between styles. But it's okay. I mean, to each his own, you know. Dawn, yes. I like 3 of his styles a lot. He did I remember he had a style that looked like, he did some, I think it was a Daredevil story that looked very animated. And then he had a style that looked like Pulp magazine. He had a style that looked like this McFarlane style. He had a style that looked like manga at one point. So yeah, it was crazy. I was like, who? Yeah, he definitely has one of those chameleon abilities to implement. Especially between Western comic art in various disciplines and imitations, cartooning and manga. Yeah, it's a cool thing. I love it when people jump around in styles and then you see them take things from those previous styles and kind of amalgamate into who they are. Frank Miller is like that. Like, he borrowed from a lot of different styles and then slowly became who Frank Miller was. McFarlane was like that too. I got this great book. I'll share it probably will be included in the next My Wednesday comic stream. I picked up this old issue that was illustrated at that garage sale. The one thing I wasn't looking for, I just stumbled across this old issue of, I think it's called Infinity Inc. that McFarlane drew. And it was crazy because normally his older stuff I look at and I see Michael Golden in it, some Arthur Adams, but it looked like he was totally referencing George Perez in it. And I was like, whoa, it's like even the way he laid out panels. So we can look through that next time because it doesn't feel like McFarlane, but it does. It's really cool that that was one of the things he looked at. Makes me wonder who he's shooting for. Yeah. Who are you? Amazing illuminated sunset clouds a few minutes ago, but phone cameras just can't deal with the lighting. I hate that, but I think it's how it's meant to be. Because if we captured it in our phone, then you wouldn't appreciate it in person, right? Sunset, sunrise, anything. Stuff like that. Like just beautiful things you just need to take in the moment. So that's awesome. All right. I think we did it. We did something. We did something today. So, like I mentioned, I will finish up that top panel. I'll tighten it up and do all the technical stuff off stream because I want to get to this Wolverine panel at the bottom and finish this up on the next stream, on the next Master Study stream. So that'll be great. I'm going to have to search for some lime jello and cottage cheese. I'm going to look up that recipe again, Lindsay Rose, because what happened? We hit 600 subscribers in this stream, which is awesome. Let me just refresh. I believe it's 601. 601. Crazy. Make sure you guys hit that like too, please, before you leave. That would be great to get that in. Wow, I'm off center. And then next up is I will be doing the next My Wednesday comics. I got a bunch of those books. I'll show you just the stack. This is the stack of stuff I got from that garage sale. Here's the shadows. Oh, they're so good. These shadows. Here, I'll give you a hand. Look at that. Hulk Pit, huh? And one other. This is the Infinity. This is the McFarlane Infinity Inc. that I picked up. Written by Roy Thomas, drawn by Todd McFarlane. It's really cool to see because it doesn't look like any of his modern style, but it's kind of cool to see where he came from. And then a bunch of other cool stuff here. This whole stack here cost me. This whole stack cost me what? It's like $15. So cool. That's why I love sales like that, garage sales like that. Anyway, thanks so much, everybody, for joining me. Special shout out to Mark's Music Obsession for the super chat today. Thank you so much, my friend. Thank you for your support. It means the world to me. It means more to me than it to anybody else you support. No, really. I really appreciate it, Mark. And as I continue to build the memberships thing, I'm hoping to get it locked in this week. That's the goal, is to try and get that all set up this week so I just can launch it, get it out there. And for those of you who are interested in the extra content or whatever exclusives that get laid out there, it'll be ready because I really want to just roll that out. And, it'll evolve over time, but it'll be fun to kind of build on what this channel is and hopefully attract more people like all 601 of you. So, yeah, I will see you in a couple days, Wednesday, for My Wednesday Comics. My name is Rocky Ballesteros. Thank you guys all for joining me for this episode of Master Study, John Byrne's Elsewhen, issue 17. And I will catch you guys later. Thanks again. Wait, where's my button? Oh, here we go. Thanks again. I hope I didn't break it. I'll see you later. Bye-bye.